Welcome to another RSR. Tonight, we are recapping the 2025 Gold Cup draw. 16 teams, 4 groups of 4. We have them now. It is over. It is done with. We know our groups. And we start with Group A. Reacción de la Sorteo de la Copa de Oro de la CONCACAF. Now we start with Group A. Grupo A. Mexico, Costa Rica, Suriname, and the Dominican Republic. This group has favorites. This group has underdogs. Suriname, they have drawn Costa Rica recently, so we'll see what happens there. Mexico, if Raul Jimenez isn't on fire, Mexico might have some trouble here. Dominican Republic, they're starting to grow. We'll see what happens there. Costa Rica, they have Miguel Herrera now, so dark arts aplenty, eh? For me, it's an interesting group. I wouldn't say it's the group of death, but it's an interesting group. It has favorites, but who knows what happens. With 3 games per team, anything could happen. You have an off night, you might be out. So, with that being said, Mexico, if Raul's on fire, they should easily win this group. If he's not, they are up the creek without the paddle, probably. Especially if they're not firing against Costa Rica. Because I'm sure Miguel Herrera wants to beat Mexico. I'm sure he does. Suriname and Dominican Republic, if they're not firing against them, they'll probably get away with it. But such is life, eh? Such is life, eh? For me, Group A should be interesting. I wouldn't say it's the group of death. But it's interesting. Very even in general when it comes to these groups, I would say. Even though there's one group of death, I'd say they're all pretty even. Group A is interesting. Mexico should win it, but it depends on how Raul's playing, because that's basically what their hopes lie on at this point, which is better than the United States. At least Mexico has hope, but such is life. Group B, we have Canada, Honduras, El Salvador, Curacao. Canada should win this group. That I know. Canada should top this group. It's not that hard of a group, but there is challenges. It also depends where those Honduras, El Salvador games are played. That makes this harder. If they play these games in Vancouver, one of those games in Vancouver, I think Canada should handle it. If they play El Salvador, Curacao, and St. Louis or Honduras, I think Canada should handle it. If they play it in LA or California or Texas, then we might have a little bit of a tough situation like the Guatemala game back in 2023. So, Canada will play a game in Vancouver, that we know. I don't know if the whole group for Canada's played in Vancouver or they're just playing a game in Vancouver, but they will be playing one game in Vancouver. Our luck, it'll be Curacao. Just like they played them there. Hey, they just played them there a couple of years ago, too. I mean, okay. So do that what you will. Canada, Honduras, El Salvador, Curacao. But Canada should win the group. Curaçao's probably finishing 4th. Honduras and El Salvador finishing 2nd or 3rd. They're fighting for 2nd or 3rd. I think Honduras is where I lean. El Salvador could get it done. We'll see. Group C. This is the group of death to me. Panama, Jamaica, Guatemala, Guadeloupe. Too damn even. Panama probably going to top the group. They're probably the favorite to top it. Jamaica should finish 2nd, but there's some called they play dinosaur football. Steve McLaren legitimately has struggled throughout his CONCACAF run so far, except St. Vincent, and even the first leg they struggled. Luckily, late penalty to give them the away goal that they dominated the second leg. Guatemala, still solid. They could finish 2nd, and Guadeloupe, you don't want to sleep on Guadeloupe. No, you don't want to sleep on Guadeloupe. You sleep on Guadeloupe for your own peril. To your own peril. They could beat you too. So my point is anybody could finish top 2 in this group. Hell, Panama could miss. I don't think that'll happen. They may not win the group, but I don't think they'll miss. But I'll tell you this, Jamaica, I don't think they win the group. If Panama doesn't win the group, I don't think Jamaica's the one who wins the group. I'll tell you that much right now. If Panama doesn't win the group, Jamaica's eliminated. I'll tell you that right now. I feel like Guadeloupe or Guatemala could win the group if that's the case. I don't see Jamaica finishing above Panama. I don't. The way they're playing right now with Steve McLaren as manager, no, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Jamaica needs to finish second to get through. And that's sad. That's sad because I expect better out of Jamaica. And they don't have it. So do with that what you will. Group D. United States, Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, and Saudi Arabia. United States, even with all their flaws, should finish top of this group. If they don't, that's an absolute failure. Luckily for them, they don't have the group of death. The bad news is, if they get knocked out of this group, Pochettino should be fired instantly. Simple. They should at least get to the quarterfinals. And still, I stand on the fact if the USA does not make the semifinals, Pochettino should be fired. Semifinals, it depends on the case of them being eliminated in the semifinals, if that so happens. If it's a close game, so be it. Depends on the roster he brings. Also depends on the type of defeat in the semis before you fire him. If he does not make the semifinals, he should honestly go. If he doesn't make the knockout stage, he should go. I don't think anybody will disagree on that. But the good news is the USA should make it out of this group, first or second. Trinidad could give a scare. Haiti, not as much as Trinidad. Saudi Arabia, the good news is most of their best players will be playing for Al Hilal during the Club World Cup, which is played at the same time. So that helps the USA a little bit for sure. That helps the USA a little bit. Al Dusri, probably playing with Al Hilal. Good. Such players like that, right? Helps the USA probably top the group and at least worry about the quarterfinals. But the point is, the USA's got to get out of this group. It's that simple. If they don't, it's a giant failure. It legit is. Now that they've given them Saudi, Haiti, Trinidad, finishing under Saudi is one thing. Finishing third or fourth is another. This ain't the Copa, where it's Bolivia, Panama, Uruguay. Panama, people knew they had a possibility of knocking out the USA. They didn't think it would happen 2 straight years after that, but they knew there was a possibility. Uruguay, nobody thought the USA was finishing above Uruguay. This is a group where the USA has to get out of it. It's that simple. If they don't, they suck. They suck. It's over. Like, this is how USA builds back some hope for the World Cup. Not the friendlies. I mean, that can help, but it's really the Gold Cup. I don't think people will really buy into hope, but if the USA could win the group, have a solid knockout stage, lose semifinals, make the final, win the final, there could be a little bit more hope. But the problem is the USA right now has no hope. But even without hope, you should look at this as a fact and say, okay, the USA should get out of that group. Simple. Simple. Honestly, win it. But we're going to find out if they do. For me, very solid Gold Cup. It's a very even tournament. I think Group C is the group of death. Group D, the more I look at it, Group D seems pretty easy. Group B, I think for Canada it's easy. For everybody else, it's a dogfight. But I wouldn't say that's a group of death because Canada should, whoever they call, if they call an A team minus Davies, they're going to walk it. Call a B plus team, I think they should handle it. B or C team, then you make it tough. Depends on who they call, but I think Canada's going to call most of who they can. Mexico, Costa Rica, Suriname, Dominican Republic, that might be tougher than you think. But it might be more of a tougher for everybody else besides Mexico situation, just like the Canada group. But again, depends on how Raul's playing that makes that possibly tougher. So Group C is the group of death. And Jamaica might be in trouble. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. They might be in trouble. Steve McLaren might just make them look horrible. Speaking of firing people, either way. Group B, probably tough for everybody else but Canada. Depends on who they call up. Mexico, probably tough for everybody else in Group A, depending on how Raul's playing. If he doesn't play as well and he's not firing, we might have a tougher Group A. I don't know if I'd say that's a group of death either. Group D, it's probably the easiest the more I look at it. So, United States win it. You better. With that being said, there's your Gold Cup draw. I'm very interested to see how the tournament plays this summer. I'll make my predictions closer to the tournament. Also for the Club World Cup, I'll predict both those tournaments closer to the time because of injuries and such. You don't know what will happen. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send some chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you tomorrow for my CONCACAF Champions Cup quarterfinal recap, semifinal predictions. That's Friday. Then we have some MLS matches on the weekend. Toronto, 1:30 Saturday, Central. And then we also have St. Louis on Sunday, 6 p.m. So that'll be good. One live each on Saturday, Sunday, one review. Friday, we got a video. I already have it recorded, but I'll upload it tomorrow. And there you go. But I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. Let's enjoy this Gold Cup. Should be fun.